Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. I apologize if my nose is a tiny bit red. I literally just sneezed as I was sitting down to film this, and so yeah, my nose is red. But anyway, I am super excited for this week's video. Thank you to everyone who replied to my Instagram story asking for suggestions. I for sure know what I'm doing next week, which is a 2018 wish list. Thank you to everyone who voted for that because there's a ton of you who wanted to see that, which I think is awesome. And then this week we're gonna do something that was requested a while ago and then brought back to my attention yesterday when I posted that on Instagram. So we're gonna be doing a daytime sort of like wedding event look, and this would be just a great look to have in your back pocket to pull out if you have some sort of event coming out. So this look is going to be really pretty. It's great for winter, it's great for spring. I think that you could just wear it a whole bunch of different ways, so let's just get started. The first thing is base. So if you're going to be outside in the sun, obviously you want to figure out an SPF that's going to work for you because you don't want any like white flashback if you're taking photos. This whole makeup is going to be very photo friendly, which to be honest I think is like the most important thing when you're going to an event and there are going to be photos. You want to make sure that you're going to feel comfortable with someone else taking your photos, how your makeup's going to perform. You want to feel confident, all of that. So like I was saying, if it is outside, sorry that I look so silly with my hair tucked back, but it's just easier to do makeup if you don't have it like dangling in your face. So if the event is going to be outside, you need to find an SPF that works for you. I find a straight SPF gives a lot of flashback, but something like a CC cream, a BB cream, something that has like a little bit of tint to it doesn't give as bad of a flashback. I'm just going to apply a light layer of my CC cream. You guys know this is one of my favorites. I'm just applying like little dots. It's also a great kind of like priming layer. Now comes foundation. So you can go one of two ways. You can go with a more matte approach, and I would suggest this foundation from Vapor Beauty. This is the Atmosphere Soft Focus. This will dry down a little bit faster. It'll be a little bit more matte on your face. Or you can go the more luminous route, which is the Atmosphere Luminous Foundation. And I just have been in the mood to use this lately because I'm going to put a powder over top so I can kind of control where it's going to be more dewy or shiny or whatever adjective you want to use to describe it. But I like this one because it's really, really blendable, and I feel like I can just put it in certain areas of my face and it doesn't have to go all over. In my opinion, fresh skin actually photographs the best. So the more real skin you can have shining through, the better it's going to look in photos, and on top of that, the better it's going to look in person. I'm just going to see how this works with a stippling brush because I haven't done it before. I actually like that for when I'm not applying it all over my face because I think it fans it out a little bit. But I'm just going to really spend time warming it up and working it into my skin in just like these really soft circular motions. So it's like one with my skin. Okay, so you could go in and actually add another layer on top of that, but I'm just going to take a little bit more time with concealer. So again, with concealer, like foundation, less is always more. So I'm just taking some out of the pot. And like my last video, I'm just going to apply this on the back of my hand. And I'm just going to use a mirror and just do some pinpoint concealing over any areas that are still red poking through or are still dark. And then just really softly with my fingers, I'm just going to pat it in, but mostly focusing on fanning out the outer edges and leaving the most coverage at the very center, so the spot that I'm trying to conceal. Also, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who watched my Aaliyah beauty story this week. It was so fun taking over their Instagram and just like taking you guys around with me for the day. I just had the best time chatting with all of you, and you're all so sweet. So thank you for watching. It meant a lot to me, and yeah, I just had a ton of fun. Just with whatever is left on the back of my hand, I'm going to take that onto my finger, and I'm going to work it onto kind of like the sides of my nose where I get kind of dark. And this is just going to lighten that area up. I'm going to drag just a tiny bit underneath my eye as well. Taking a beauty blender, I'm just going to take the flat edge and just pack over all the areas that I just concealed, just to make sure there's not any extra product hanging out. Just gonna brush my brows. I'd also say when you're going to an event to stick to products that you feel comfortable and familiar with, just because I know every time I've had like my makeup done before an event or something like that, it's always been like slightly off, and then I just feel really uncomfortable all throughout the night. But if I'm 100% confident in the products that they're putting on me or the person who's doing my makeup, then I feel a lot better, and usually the look turns out a lot more of how I imagined it. So yeah, I just say cut the stress out of getting ready for an event by being prepared for it. So know what products you want to use, know what you're going to bring, and just do a little bit of prep work, and I promise you it will save you a ton of stress. So since this is a daytime event, I want to keep it really light, really pretty. So I'm going to be using the Ilia Prima palette. You guys might have seen this in my story if you watched it. I think this is the perfect palette for a daytime makeup look, and if the party goes into nighttime, you have some versatility with the colors that you can kind of put this in your purse, hop in the bathroom, and just add a few little things to make it more dressy. I'm going to take the lightest color and place this all over my lid. Also update, the powders make the mirror so dirty. Like I can barely even see in it to see what I'm doing. I'm going to place that white color all over my lid. I'm going to make a nice base. And then just taking a little bit, this is a pretty pigmented color, this brown up here. So I'm just taking a little bit of it and I'm going to work that into my crease, but very, very softly. I want it to be almost non-existent that it's there. I just want it to look like kind of a natural shadow in my crease. So I'm just going to look straight ahead into the mirror, place the shadow right where my crease is, and just, I'm like barely touching my skin right now, just softly blending that in. I want to try and keep this makeup look really simple because I also know that nothing ever goes to plan the day of an event, and usually you don't have a ton of time. I'm always running like, you know, to the last minute, down to the wire, trying to get my makeup on, often like in the car. So I want to make sure that this isn't too labor intensive. And if you have time, taking a clean brush and just going over that. So if you wanted a very natural look, you could just move on to the next steps of this tutorial and ignore what I'm about to do, because now you're having a little bit of definition. All I might do is drag a little bit of the brown color also underneath your eyes before you move on. But if you want to do a little pop of color, then I would highly recommend the pink shimmer shade in this palette. It might look a little bit intense in the actual pan, but when you place it on your eyes, it's a beautiful wash of just like a warm rosy tint, very in right now, this sort of color. And it also just looks really beautiful. When I did the tutorial live of this, or the review live, I was almost hesitant to use it because I'm not a big color person, so I just placed it in the outer corner, but after seeing it on, I think you can just put it over your whole lid. I'm using a small brush and just kind of like fanning it out. Then I'm going to use the same brush and go into this light color in here, right here, and really pack that on the inner corner. So that's just going to be like a tapping motion, starting at the inner corner. You guys can see how pigmented that is. And this will keep your eyes nice and open and awake. And I'm just going to take that relatively clean brush that we used to make sure that the edges were soft, and I'm just going to go right where the two shadows meet and just kind of tap on it to make sure that they're blended. So I'm just going to put that palette away for now and grab, I always do that, and grab an eyeliner. And this I'm just going to put on my, got a really weird look from someone walking by. And this I'm going to place on my top line, and I'm going to do a bit of a flick, and then we're going to soften it in a little bit. And for a little bit of drama, I'm coming up from the bottom lashes and drawing a little flick. And now taking the other end of this, I'm actually going to dip it into the darkest eyeshadow right here. I'm going to take that along with me just over the top of what we've already drawn. So you can really blend that as much as you want, but the point of doing that is, one, to soften the look, and the second reason is because the powder is actually going to help set the eyeliner, so you won't have to worry about it either transferring, which in this case the eyeliner doesn't. I've never had an experience like that with this eyeliner that I'm using, but just in case, if you have very oily eyelids or something like that, you don't have to worry about it transferring, you don't have to worry about it smudging. You've already smudged it and you've already set it, so it's going to stay the way that you have it. I like the drama of having a relatively defined flick, but if you want it to be even softer, just continue working in with some more shadow and just getting it to that very smoky phase. So next I'm going to apply a lot of black mascara, both on the top, and then press it into my bottom lashes. Okay, moving back to the face, I'm going to bronze up my face a little bit because I think it's always nice to have a little extra shape to your face. So I'm just taking this bronzer and I'm just placing it right where the sun would kind of hit me. So I'm actually working it like a little bit higher than just contouring. Acts as a little bit of a blush too, because there's nothing worse than getting photos back and you look so insanely pale, or just like a totally blank canvas because all you have on is foundation and everything else got kind of lost. I am gonna add a blush as well, just kind of creeping up from the bottom of the apples of my cheek. I don't know if you guys noticed, but I kind of toggle between these two fingers, so I'll apply the product to this finger, my middle finger, and then I blend out with my pointer finger. The whole point of this look is just to look very fresh and put together, but not overdone. If you guys want a more dramatic look, let me know and I can do that too. On the high points of my cheeks, I'm actually gonna use this Living Luminizer just because I haven't used it in a while. And I'm just gonna apply it to the same finger that I put the blush on, and that way the colors are already starting to combine. I'm gonna place that on the very high points. So not bringing it down too far down here where my pinky is, but just up here. Hope that's picking up. I am going to get soft boxes. Thank you so much for the suggestion. I'm definitely going to get them. They're a lot more affordable than a ring light. So yeah, definitely going to get those, and hopefully that'll fix some of the lighting and you guys will be able to see more of what I'm doing, which would be really exciting. Because sometimes the camera doesn't always pick up the pigment of the color or the amount of shine or all of that. I kind of skipped over it, but I am just adding a little bit underneath my brow bone. And the good thing about this eye is you can really do anything with sort of a pinky undertone on your lips. So if you want to do a red with a pink undertone, if you want to do a nude with a pink undertone, I'm going to do a true pink just because I'm feeling like it right now. And I think it reminds me a little bit of like spring and warm weather and all that. So thought it would be nice. So I'm just using one of my favorites. And I'm just going to take a tissue and kind of blot over it. This way I dull down the color and I get a nice stain on it. I'm then going to add a little bit of gloss. This is something that I don't usually do, but I think it's nice for photos to have a little bit of shine coming back at them. So I'm going to apply it mostly in the center here and just at the tops. So you get kind of that nice highlight right in the middle. Finally, to finish off this look, I'm just going to powder the areas that I get shiny, so right in my T-zone and on the sides of my nose, maybe a tiny bit on my chin. So I'm just taking the same brush I use for bronzer, so you'll still get a little bit of glow, going into my powder and just really lightly packing it on. Alright guys, and there you go. That is the finished look. So this is a great look, like I said, for a daytime wedding, daytime event, something that's kind of like in the daylight. Great look for Valentine's Day. Should have thought of that. That's coming up real quick. This would be amazing for a daytime look. I did actually last year like a date night Valentine's Day look and then a daytime look. So if you guys want to check those out, definitely make sure to go find those over on my channel. I'll link them down below in the description bar as well. Happy almost Valentine's Day, everyone. I totally forgot that that was around the corner. But yeah, I hope you guys enjoyed this look. Thank you again for the suggestions. Next week will be that 2018 wish list that so many of you wanted to see. So I'm really excited to film that. I hope you guys have a wonderful weekend, a wonderful rest of your week. Thank you so much for watching as always. And please make sure to hit that subscribe button. It means so much to me. And I just love adding to this community that we are creating. So thank you guys as always. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up and I will see you guys next Friday. Bye!